Hi there. What matters most in life is to realize what is yourself, definition of yourself, so-called self-realization. So what is self-realization? How do you get to know what is yourself, definition of yourself? Why would you even want that? Does that matter in life? Does that matter most in life? And yes, it does. This is actually the only thing that matters in life, self-realization. So what is self-realization? It is simply being what you are. So it's not finding something new, it's not going somewhere and bringing something back, it's not going to any journey to anywhere, it's not trying any sort of techniques or special sort of processes to get there or anything like that. It's just simply being what you are, what you already are. So why is that a problem? The big problem is that actually you don't know what you are. You are ignorant about what you are. What you think you are is not what you are. This is the big problem. And this is why you're caught up in this cycle from birth to death and another birth to death and so on and so on and so on, in this cycle of constant struggling, in this cycle of constant sort of yielding for something that can never be fulfilled, in this so-called life that you experience on a physical level. Because that is not what you are. What you are, what is real, is actually not individual, is way beyond individual. So it's way beyond this one person, this one body, mind, this one sort of set of thoughts, feelings, emotions, impressions. This is all there is. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, impressions, projections. It is what we experience, but it's not what is. That's why we can never be really happy. We can never be really happy constantly. We can never be blissful. We can never be at peace constantly. It is not possible. Because we wrongly, ignorantly assume that these impressions, they change all the time, that this is what we are. This is who we are. It is a complete mistake. That's why a process of self-realization, actually just realizing what it is, what you are. It is not who you are, because as I say, it's beyond an individual. It's just a process of becoming yourself, becoming what you already are. Dropping off everything that you are not. You see, this is a process of dropping off. Dissolving everything that you are not, the body, mind, everything it entails, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the attachments, everything, dissolving everything, dropping everything. Resting in silence, resting with an empty mind that is just an absolutely natural way of being. Resting, completely relaxed, with an empty mind. This is our natural state of being. This is what we are, and this is way beyond one. In a way of one body, mind, one set of thoughts, feelings, and so on. This includes everything. This is all pervasive. This is absolute. This is beyond time and space. And the most important thing about it is that it can be experienced by each one of us. At any point in time, like now, because it's what we are. Anybody can experience it at any time and all the time, if they are just able to empty the mind and rest in the silence, rest in the peace, rest in the absolute, what it is that they are. You see, in theory, this is very, very simple, because we are not changing anything, we're not creating anything, we're just being what we already are. But in practice, that is not simple, at least not for most people, because we are so used to identifying with what we are not. And most of us have gone through many cycles from birth to death, doing this same thing, identifying with everything outside, identifying with everything we are not. So this tendency to identify with what we are not and be absolutely ignorant about what we are is very, very, very strong. That's why it needs a bit of practice. This sort of resting in itself, resting in the silence, resting in the empty mind needs practice. And the more you practice it, the more you are able to actually be that silence, be that peace, be that bliss, be that absolute stillness. The more you practice, the more you will be able to be that. First, maybe just at some moments, and then a few more moments, and then a few longer intervals of time. And then with time, this will spread into everything. This sort of state of being, which is just like very similar to state of being in deep sleep where the mind is empty, but you are aware because you are awake. You're aware of it. It's so completely bright and alert, and there is such a huge force in it, life force in it. That's it, that is the life force, that is what you are, the life force that gives life to everything, including this body-mind that we all somehow mistakenly think that actually exists outside of our perception. What needs for people to get there, to actually start the process of self-realization, is a certain state of maturity of the mind, a certain state of being tired of life, of being tired of these experiences that are always lacking, that are never constant, that are always up and down, that are always so tiring. And the repeatedness of everything again and again and again. The attachment to things that always disappoint, the attachment to everything outside that can never fulfill the needs that are not real needs, that are just something that we make up. This tiredness, being tired of life, being tired of this experience of life as is, being really fed up with it, and wanting to really discover what it is that we really are, what it is that is our core, what it is that is the essential being, just being, not being this or being that or being that body or that body, just being. You see, this state of maturity, in this state of sort of a fatigue with life is needed to start looking for that source, for that core of everything that is inside, that is on a much deeper level. And that is what in the end is self-realization. And once we get there, really we break out of all the limits. And we end up really in just coming together with what we really are, which is beyond words. That's for me for today. Take care. Bye-bye.